Welcome to Make a Path Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and we just recently talked about the premiere. We did an after show, and I did a edited cut of a review for Fear the Walking Dead Season 8, Episode 1, and man, was that awful. However, I did mention we will do the premieres. I'm not big on Walking Dead these days, but we will do the premieres of the spin-offs. As a huge zombie fan and as a huge fan of the original first several seasons of The Walking Dead, I gotta at least give the premieres a shot. Anyhow, the official trailer just dropped. I had a lot of people asking me to check it out. I might have to turn down the volume a touch just because they have music. I like the music in the trailer. It's got a decent trailer. There's something weird I'm going to show later on where maybe it's because I just seen Evil Dead Rise a couple weeks ago. And in this trailer, they show something, and they both are very similar to something done in the Last of Us video game, The Last of Us Part 2, that we will see in the show, but probably not until like 2025 because they're splitting it into 2 seasons. But at least we're getting a peek at it here, and I think this one looks pretty damn cool, but we'll check it out. The reason I say make it a big deal is because there might be some sort of mutation going on, but we'll look at it. So, the trailer opens up, some cool scenery of some bodies in the water, but this is them in the harbor. I don't know who that other character is, but we got Maggie and Negan teaming up, and they're going to Manhattan. And the background images in the location, which is pretty important because this seems to be the one, and I'm going to use the word gimmick, but I don't mean it in a negative way, but this is the gimmick of the spinoff. It's not just Maggie and Negan. In my opinion, it's New York first. You know, it's city, it's dense city, it's the urban landscape first and foremost. Then, you know, a sort of revitalization of, a boost of freshness, let's call it, of The Walking Dead with Maggie and Negan. I call them Nagy. That's what we're going to call them from now on. So I almost screwed that up. But anyhow, so some of these sceneries are pretty good. Right here looks decent. There's this edge of, what's a good way to put it? Like The Last of Us had real good scenery in the trailers, and it looked organic. You can tell it's CGI right off the rip because you know they're not going to have these, you know, massive post-apocalyptic landscapes. You automatically know it's not real. At least down to, you know, a certain point up, you know, is going to be totally CGI, and stuff in the foreground will be real, but they'll CGI some extra leaves and vines and dust, dirt, cars, debris, rubble, yada yada yada. But some of this looks just too much like a painting. I don't know how to put it where it just stands out CGI wise, but it's good to the point where I'm not going to harp on it too much. Like I said, this as well, it has that pop, like, could this be a video game or is this a show? However, it looks great. It looks cool, you know? I just want to highlight, yes, I do see that little bit of, and again, I can't quite find the right word for it, but a little bit of, not as believable. You know what I mean? We get a lot of zombies. Here's one of my biggest fears for the show. I notice I like a lot of organic colors, meaning, like, see how this kind of has like a green tint on it. I don't know how much the compression on YouTube is going to mess up how it looks, but a lot of the Walking Dead Dead City teasers before had almost completely blue images, green, yellow, red, and it was like a one tone, and maybe like a character's mad, so it's red, and you get that, you know, the mad plus red and yada, yada, yada. But some of this I'm not a big fan of. I like the organic colors. I see that less in the trailer, but it's still present. We'll see how that plays out. Another worry of mine for the show. See, I like it with the more organic colors, and this right here, nighttime, obviously has a little blue tint on it, but here's where I'm a little worried. they're going to go in this direction where here's the landscape shots, and then the characters walk by the camera quick, and then we're going to see them indoors or up close, and the backdrop will be like a wall or a fence or whatever it may be. So you get these landscape establishing shots and then quickly rush the characters past them. The Last of Us, unfortunately, the show was disappointing in that way, where we saw these gorgeous landscapes and they really burned through them and had a lot of the interactive stuff with the characters in kind of boring little, pockets of post-apocalyptic areas. More than I wanted, but anyway.
2 weeks back, I got raided.
Here's where we get our biggest problem. The flashback scene here, I'm hoping it's for the trailer. It's probably not, though, because it's probably already edited, but this looks horrible. The fogginess, the weird focus of the camera, that blue tint on it. I just hate everything about how that flashback. I'm assuming it's a flashback. This is what I like: organic colors. See what I mean by the backdrop. This is something they used in The Last of Us, and it's been used in Hollywood for decades now. But they're in some sort of landscape establishing shot. Looks great, but then when the characters sit down and talk, you get like a plank of plywood behind them and like a rusty or like a paint chipping, old door behind them. Now, I think this takes place outside of the city, though, based on some of the rest of the trailer. So it is what it is, but I'm using this as an example. I really don't care where this scene plays out. There's a practical reason for this, though. When the characters need to do some of the more emotional scenes or scenes where they need to get their performance right, if you have these backdrops that are insanely expensive and you do like 20 or 30 takes, it's a lot more expensive and problematic than if you have a simplistic backdrop. And that's why you see them stopping and talking in locations that aren't all that interesting. Another red flag, and I do have to stop this a lot because the channel gets flagged for using copyright material. I will let more of it play out here in a minute when it gets to a montage, but here's where we get to the major issue with the storytelling, at least. Glenn's son, Glenn and Maggie's son, here's a cool little, establishing shot, but location shot. We have, here's the bounty hunter. I just noticed that. Bounty hunter with two goons. The story revolves around Glenn and Maggie's kid, Herschel, being taken by some group. Now, this has been done to death. We've counted. Now, for the premiere, I'm going to give you the actual number total of how many times they've done the kidnapping storyline in The Walking Dead. We did like a fake quick count of how many times it happened as a joke, and I think we made it around 22. Now, some of them were like questionable, but it was only a handful of them. I think there was like 17 without a doubt times that they did kidnapping in The Walking Dead. That's 17 kidnapping. Imagine you have 11 seasons, multiple spinoffs. Let's just say whatever it is, 17 to 25 roundabout. I don't want to spoil the real number, but let me just tell you, it is an incredible number of how many kidnapping, counting the spinoffs and the other shows for The Walking Dead. Even if you count the video games, which I'm not gonna, but if you count them, it's through the roof. It's insane. And I just find that to be dumb. Why are they kidnapping the kid? What point does it, at what point does it even matter? And then it looks like he's being tortured in one scene, but it's probably not. But it's just such a lame idea of kidnapping Herschel. Anyhow.
Have you seen this man?
And this seems to be the direction they're going, where this is how they're linking Negan. And the bounty hunter's a weird one, man. You got the, it's obvious, but black guy, cowboy hat, black trench coat. Normally it wouldn't matter what his race is, but the only reason I bring it up is because, wait, where's my picture proof? We did this already. And I just thought this was a weird one. It's no big deal, but I just thought, like, that's such an odd casting choice. Forget race. Even the outfit's the same, I think this guy has a rifle at least, but it's just, I find it odd. This is probably just a weird coincidence. I don't really have a problem with it. I just thought it was a little weird they didn't just dress him differently. You could come up with a cool look, Anyhow, we go back to the wanted poster.
By the name of
them walking along the city city road, the city streets. I want to see a lot of this though, and I am hoping we get more than just a couple comments and then they walk past. But I like the vibe in this trailer. Got a good. Here I notice. Let me make sure I'm not covering it up. This seems to be the circle or whatever they call it, and there's an entrance here. These appear to be speakers, or maybe even no, they're not TVs, right? They appear to be huge speakers. And later we see them blow up in the trailer, so I'm assuming they draw them in with this noise. I thought they were entering through here, keeping the zombies distracted with the noise, but later we see it blow up. So whatever happens, this huge circle area seems to be one big event. Zombies look great. That's cool. Here we got that flashback shot with this guy. Just, it looks terrible. All of this looks terrible. Is his ear missing? Yeah, he's got like something going on with that ear.
Is on the island.
She was in Ozark, and she was real good in that. She played one of the drug dealer wives. She had a big role eventually in the season. It was pretty good. And here we get the introduction of new characters. It's this group that help them. Some of them look a little odd. Their guns are really odd. At first I thought it was a nail gun. This is what you use in construction, doing some roofing. I used a lot of these nail guns, and I always thought it was funny because I know there's some of them you can rig to shoot out some nails. They don't go far at all. I've seen some people make the claim that like you can do some damage. I've used a lot of them, and I've never found ones that really kicked. If you're right next to it, yeah, you can pound that through a skull. But if you're at a distance, as soon as it shoots, it's like, you know, it barely does anything. Anyhow, these are different though. You see this one girl will shoot it. If you look at the tip here, I'm covering it up. Let me move. If you look at the tip here, it is actually like a grapple gun, like some sort of Batman gun.
You don't know us. We don't.
I'll pause it when they shoot it. Let me get back over here. Was I even in the camera before? Oh, well, fuck it. Let's go.
Know you.
Then they meet this other group, and this gets problematic because, hey, I used to have a bowl like that when I was little. We used to make soup out of them. I hated those bowls. Anyway, it's a limited number of episodes. I think there's 6 episodes. We're focusing on Negan and Maggie. No one really else. Herschel kind of counts. I don't think he's going to be in it a ton. I don't care about these new characters. I'm sure most of them at all, none of them probably are going to spill over into any other Walking Dead material. There's probably going to be a season 2, and even then, this seems like a lot of cast. I'm sure some of them are Walker food, but we'll see. I just don't want them to spend too much time on people that aren't too relevant. We'll see.
He makes sure of that.
And here we get another look. It looks like a lab at first, I thought. But there's just a whole bunch of these tanks and then this water tube thing. So I really don't know what kind of experiments he's doing with just this. I mean, what is this? Oxygen tanks? Propane tanks? Some shit? I don't know. I'm not a scientist.
It's a real reason we're
We get this, which looks like it could be him blending walkers in, I don't know. I don't know. We'll talk about that in a second.
the cycle.
And then here, what'd she say? The circle? That music is going to get me.
You want to go to the cycle?
Yeah, you want to go to the circle.
Need the help.
Is that building? That's all they call it, the circle? Here it is. So she shoots out. If you look, it's faint, but you can see this wire shoots out of this nail gun. See? And then it gets caught on this other person. That's just a weird weapon. And this other, actually, now that I'm looking at it, this person was stalking Maggie. I thought this group was stalking Maggie, and then they ended up working together. But in this clip, it appears that the people that Maggie's working with, yeah, because there's Negan behind her. So it looks like they help him out with these guys. These guys are part of the bad guys, I'm assuming. Yeah, because here's another one with the helmet. And it's funny because there's glass and metal and nails poking out of the helmet. And I thought at first, okay, that's a neat way to show you can't wrestle these guys because you're going to cut yourself. You know, if you go anywhere near his head, you're going to get cut. But then in this shot, 2 minutes after me thinking that, not even a minute, he just snaps his neck grabbing his helmet. So that was a bit of a laugh. You tell me, why are these guys covered with shit in their head? Wait, right here. We need to go. Wait, no, back it up some. Yeah, right here. He's being hunted by this guy in the helmet. And then look at this person in the helmet. See, it's all glass and knives and some other shit. If you grab that, you're slicing your arm open. And then in a minute, we're going to see him just snap his neck. It's just weird.
When I got to the cycle,
Circle. Just want to get a look.
Let me get him to tell me where my...
Yeah, maybe he is torturing him. Because here he's got a bloody lip, right? It looks like a bloody lip. And then here he doesn't. And he looks a little more unnerved. Oh, there is a storm outside.
Let me get him to tell me where my son is.
I don't know. I don't care about our kid, to be honest. So many time skips and different actors playing Herschel. I don't care at this point. We have the explosion. Remember those areas I showed you that look like sound boxes of some sort? I don't know. What was I going to say? They look like... holy shit, what is the name of that? You know what I mean. Sound systems. Anyway, it doesn't matter. They look like that because don't forget, The Walking Dead is supposed to take place in early 2000 or 2010 or some shit like that. So it's not like modern day speakers and TVs and whatnot. So, which isn't far different, but it's a little different.
What the hell is that?
I think it is 2010. So here, I'm assuming this is the Circle building. And then they have this fight room. I don't know if they're gonna fight zombies or people, and I don't know. I don't really care about that. They did it in the Governor story in the comic. They did it a little bit in the show, but nothing to this setup and degree. But I really don't care. But we'll see what we getting a cool little action. That's not a problem, but. I'm not real big on it. Don't want to harp on it. It looks like here's Maggie. They're being surrounded. There's a ton of zombies here. And then they show them fighting, entering, and then fighting them. So they're fighting these zombies. If it's the same building, they blow up. The sound there, is it a trap? Did they do this on purpose? Is this in the premiere or the finale? I mean, is it in the middle of the series? So it really depends. I'm assuming everything we're seeing is the first 3 episodes at the very least. Not much from the back half, I would assume, but it's only 6 episodes, and maybe it's all of it. This is interesting, though. You got Negan. It looks like he was chasing her down. Yeah, here's Maggie. And Negan's stunt double. Jeffrey Dean Morgan's clearly his stunt double. Puts a knife to Maggie's throat. She's really concerned. Far more concerned. See that? Far more concerned than Negan was. Now this I'm assuming because of where it takes place, they're in similar clothes when they're having the conversation about Maggie, Need and Negan. So this, it looks like, takes place in the beginning of the series, and this is either after maybe it's in the premiere. Maggie puts a knife to Negan's throat in the beginning of the episode, and then Negan puts a knife to Maggie's throat. Did I say that right? You get my point. Coming full circle. One does it in the beginning, the other does it in the end of the episode, or this is actually the end of the season. And they did a little flipperoo. I don't know, but just something to point out. He could just be faking it too, to show that he's going to betray her, but then he really doesn't. I can see them doing that cheesy storyline because Negan was like, the villain that Maggie is still trying to wrap her head around her feelings about how she feels for him. But this could be that moment where it's like, oh no, Negan turned on her, but then psych, he just did it to get in on the bad guys group or some stupid shit like that. Here's a bounty hunter telling Maggie. Now this is weird. It's in there 1 second. Just telling Maggie, I'm gonna get you. At first I thought this was a guy, for whatever reason, normal person that was tortured and he's escaping. No shoes on, looks raggedy. But then when I saw it, I kind of forgot I had that thought, and I rewatched the trailer a second time just to do this review. And my initial thought was, oh, it's a zombie, but it's a jumping zombie. It's like a running, jumping zombie. You know what I mean? Like, he's not clumsy at all like zombies normally are in this franchise. So this could be a zombie, a variant, you know, early bitten variant, or it could be a guy that's tortured that's escaping. I don't know. I'm betting on a guy that's tortured escaping. It just looks like a weird variant to have. I don't know. But he looks pretty jacked up. I mean, he's got dried blood on him. He looks pretty messed up. I'm not sure. I'm not sold on it. Annie is really pale, so I'm not sure. You guys let me know down below. What do you think? Doesn't matter, though. Especially the way, though, so far The Walking Dead is doing, like, you know, the random variant. I don't know if that really matters if you're only going to do, like, a random variant. You would need a handful of these quick variant zombies to actually ramp up some serious tension. Having, like, one random zombie, it's like, oh, shit, you know, that one did something others didn't do, but, you know, that's it. You killed him, whatever. Negan's running away with this girl. I'm assuming they rescue at least her so far at that point. This looks like the bounty hunter without his hat. I could be wrong. I'm just going by the black of his trench coat. That looks like a very obvious trap. We'll have to see how it plays out on the show, though. You know, because those strings would have to be there. Yeah, we'll see. It's so much collapsed at this point. We'll have to wait and watch it. And then she's saying Maggie's all that matters.
The ending is all that matters.
Oh, the ending.
The ending is all that matters.
Oh, the ending.
The ending is all that matters. The ending is all that matters.
Yeah, the ending.
Is all that matters.
What does that mean? There's a few of them. I don't know if they're brothers or what they're doing. Didn't they do that? They did. They did like the twin brother on Fear the Walking Dead, didn't they?
Gotta find a way out.
And if you look at, now this is awesome. This is cool, but they always do those sewer episodes. If you look at the environments when the characters are interacting, we've gotten, you know, 3 or 4 really cool establishing shots, but the rest of it is really, it just looks kind of dull, cheaply done. Interactive locations, you know, except for this is cool. Got a bunch of bodies, but again, like, take away the bodies, you have a really boring location. Just slabs of concrete. Looks like the entrance to a dam or canal or sewer or some shit, but boring. Couple poles, you know, some concrete and some chains. Oh, and the Maggie and Negan look cool, though. They do look good in this.
I think you're gonna like it here.
And here we go with something they've done in The Last of Us 2 with right here. It's called the Rat King. It's a few clickers and a bloater, I think, mutated together. Not mutated, but clumped together. It's so old and rotten down here in the basement in this location. And this had an ambulance in it, too. I just thought about that. And similar visuals. It doesn't matter. So this is the Rat King. And then I don't have a picture of it, but in Evil Dead Rise, there is a Rat King of possessed demons. And very similar to Last of Us. I thought, oh, that's a neat, it doesn't matter, but that's a neat little example for fans waiting to see the Rat King on the TV show. But now we're getting it with a zombie. So take a clicker, you know, zombie from The Last of Us and replace it with a regular zombie, and you got the same shit. But at first, I was thinking this is maybe a mutated, because the guy looks like he's doing experiments, but it's just in that one shot. And I didn't see a lot of like experimental stuff except for that vat with the zombie in it. So what could he have done to intertwine them? But then if you look at this area, it doesn't look like an area where you know, his lab is. I don't know. It's just, maybe these are just actually zombies that, you know, rotted together in this way. And that's how we get the, you know, Walking Dead ripoff of the Rat King. But, you know, I think it looks awesome, though. I'm a movie monster guy. You know, whether it's zombies or aliens, it doesn't matter. As a whole, I'm a movie monster guy. So I'm down for it. It looks awesome. You know, I love the look of this. Is it a little, you know, taken from The Last of Us? Sure, but she looks smoking hot. But yeah, the Rat King, yeah, that is fucking awesome. So I'm down for that. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he's definitely got 3 of them in one. Yeah, definitely 3 in 1. He looks cool. I want to end it on that shot. How can I not get it on that shot? That's stupid because I was just gonna burn through it quick and show you that a lot of these scenes, when you scroll through, when you see them interacting, we get these shots from like top down or bottom down, and you'll have the skyline, for example. There was another shot of them walking and it's angled down, so you see as little as possible of the backdrop. And those are all clever ways to kind of hide the budget, because if you don't have money to showcase the background a lot, and the reason I do bring that up is because, again, the gimmick is New York and this city feel. And I see it in the trailer, but I also saw it and was very impressed with The Last of Us, the show. And as beautiful as it looked in that show, I was really disappointed by how little was used, as much as I really expected. I mean, it's really used as like, here's something freaking awesome. They're walking by it, and then they stop in this really dull room and talk for 15 minutes. So we'll have to see. A lot of establishing shots and a lot of dull shots when they're actually, not even dull, but just nothing that pops out as amazing when they're actually sitting there talking and yada, yada, yada. Like this. It's just, there's nothing interesting going on here. But anyway, those are my thoughts and opinions. I already rambled on way too long about this. I'm going to shut up. You guys leave your thoughts and opinions down below. When this comes out, we will do an after show for the very first episode. And then the Daryl one later on. So that's pretty much it. Premiere episodes, and based on your interest, if the premiere is worth spilling over in episode 2 and talking about, then it's all based on your interest. Like with Fear the Walking Dead, we had a few people there, a decent amount of people show up, but there's just what isn't a lot of interest. I think there's like 4 people that want it to continue. I don't think we're going to continue with that show. Plus, the premiere was just so bad, but I think this one should be at least good, the premiere. Anyhow, thoughts and opinions in the comment box. I'm done talking. It's your turn.